Hey everyone, in today's video we're going to check out these Altec Lansing studio monitors. I like this tradition. Come on up. Sometimes in life you simply get really lucky. When I moved into this house, I met my neighbor across the street. Got to talking to him, told him I, mess around with stuff like this. And he said, "Hold on, I've got something to show you." He comes back with his truck filled with old stereo equipment. And this is the stuff I've been alluding to for a few months now. This is the first thing in this lot of stuff. Some Altec Lansing studio monitors. The story of these is his dad picked these up from the CBS studios in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And they built custom cabinets for them, put them in here, and legend has it, these have broken windows before. I have tried hooking these up. I have listened to them both. One of them did not have anything coming out of the middle horn section. The other one works just fine. In this video, we're going to get this thing taken apart. We're going to see if we can figure out if the monitor is actually okay, and just check these things out and see how they sound when they're done. So let's take a closer look at these right now. So obviously, they're absolutely massive. I'm about 5'9". You saw me sitting on these custom cabinets that my neighbor and his father built. They've got ports here for the bass, and on the side, the other one has this also. We have a little potentiometer that lets us control the high frequency attenuation. So that's very nice. Then in the back, pretty simple. We've just got some little speaker connections right there. So the history of these things is actually pretty cool as a speaker design. This was originally introduced in the 1940s. The goal was to make a compact loudspeaker that had both a low and high frequency driver kind of in one, because they needed big sound in a small package. So this is what Altec Lansing came up with. They put a horn basically in the middle of a woofer. So I'll show you when you move these around. The horn is stationary. The woofer moves completely independently of the horn. So these things are very common in PA systems or recording studios or TV studios like CBS in Lancaster, Channel 15 it looks like it was. And I don't think I made this too clear earlier. My neighbor's father built these cases for these monitors after he got them from the CBS studios, and my neighbor's father has since passed, so my neighbor is in the process of downsizing his house, kind of trying to get rid of all the stuff and passing on the things he's not too interested in to people who would be interested in them. So here they are with me on my YouTube channel. We're about to dive into these and see what we're about to do with them. You can see with this one, the one that's not working, that I've already tried getting in here. I think I'm going to do this from the back side instead, because that's going to give me better access to all this stuff, and then I won't be trying to remove the board that has this absolutely massive speaker attached to it. These things go really far back, as we'll see once we get this opened up. So let's get a time lapse going of me trying to get inside the back of this thing. There are few things in this world that I hate more than flathead screws. They are just the absolute worst. No need for them. Okay, well, now that I've destroyed the back, I realized that that's probably glued in, unfortunately. Now we have this loose, and it's hanging on by one broken flathead screw right there. So how will this come out? I'm not exactly sure. Okay. It is apart. Check it out, folks. This is what we're looking for right here. This thing is in immaculate, beautiful condition. I mean, look at that. Looks like it was, coming new out of the box or something. That's really, really nice. So there it is, the 6048G. This is a later one, made in the USA. So the reason I wanted to come in here is I wanted to get my multimeter right on this thing, because this is the horn driver right here. Then down here is the woofer driver connection. You can see those wires go straight into the woofer, go to the coil. I want to see if there's impedance on these. So let's check that out right now. Right, Sadie? Hey, stay out of there. That's not for you. I've got some very bad news, folks. Previously I had filmed myself measuring across here, and I got a resistance. Well, here, let me hook this back up and I'll show you. Here's our meter. We'll probably get a resistance again if we measure across here. And that's all great and whatnot, but unfortunately I'm measuring across the potentiometer. This thing is open. We got a big problem up here. So that's kind of a worst case scenario right there. It's that the horn is open, which means it was likely abused quite a bit and somebody blew it out. I was listening earlier to the woofer. It just sounded very distorted and just not ideal. So I don't know if you can hear that, but you hear all that buzzing and whatnot, all that extra vibration in there. That's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to sound a lot better than that. And I know this because, well, the other one sounds a lot better. Here's yet another giveaway that something's wrong with this. You know, you heard it sounding kind of buzzy. Well, take a listen to this. Do you hear that noise? Sounds kind of like something rubbing. That is the coil rubbing against the magnet inside. And I know that sound from a botched recone job when that coil isn't sitting as it should inside of the magnet. I'll show you the other one that does work. I'm going to do the same thing. It's dead quiet. So the coil is freely moving inside. So this one's perfectly okay, but this one, it's in quite a bit of trouble. It's going to need a full rebuild if that's even possible. So we'll see if that's even a thing. I gotta do some research. So, I did some research and it turns out they actually still make these things. When Altec Lansing was sold in the late 90s, another company, I can't think of the name of it right now, but they kind of picked up the tooling and the engineering expertise and kept going with these speakers. So, you can still buy them, revised versions, and you can also buy replacement parts from multiple different suppliers. That includes the paper, the cone, voice coil. People even make new horn thingies, so that's pretty awesome. And I'm not surprised. I mean, these things were very expensive back in the day. They're expensive today even. They're still worth quite a bit of money. And when something is like that, it simply makes sense that you could find aftermarket parts for it. Right, Sadie? So the plan is for a future video to rebuild these. I'm pretty excited to do this actually, because I really would like to hear these at their full potential. This one, when I had it hooked up as one speaker playing in mono, it was pretty nice. I haven't heard anything quite like that since my clipshless Scalas. I had those before I started this channel. Those are the best speakers that I've ever owned. It's one of the best I've ever heard, so it'd be great to see if these can keep up with them. So if you'd like to see these get rebuilt, be sure to subscribe, because that will be in a future video. There's going to be some tube gear coming up. I have very limited experience working on tube gear, and also plenty of solid state stuff too. So lots of good stuff coming up. I'm pretty excited to show you all, and till then, thank you so much for watching. That's the video. I'll see you in the next one.